And it can also be for other needs that we have. So we're trying to get a shower set up and going into one of the bedrooms, as well as a bathroom that can be used for the after-school program. So that is one of the projects we are going to be doing, hopefully. We do have some people. We got 6 people coming from Charleston, Pastor Jones's congregation, and one of them involves a retired plumber, so that'll be helpful too. We also have I'm so glad people have energy. Okay, we own half of the property we are on right now, and we're so blessed to have this whole courtyard where we can play and do lots of things. Eventually that property is going to be sold. So what Pastor Araujo has asked us to do is there's this great big dirt wall, and there is a bump out. It's actually about this wide. You could sit on it if it were level. And we are going to remove this dirt without breaking the water line that goes through there. And we're going to put the dirt over where a new wall will eventually be built once that property sells. So pickaxes, wheelbarrows, sledgehammers, all that fun stuff. That'll be one of our projects. We'll just knock that out in a day and be done. Mm-hmm. All right. One of the other projects, patio. Oh, yes. As we were there, it was pouring cats and dogs. I have never in my life seen so much rain in Tarma. The streets were flooding. It was just absolutely crazy. Thunder and lightning. Never seen that before. Ruben has been doing a summer program, and with that involves some play. When you get 50 people in this building, which is probably, I don't know, not even bigger than this room, and it's all divided into small sections. It's a small area for them. And so one of the things I'm having them do is price out, this is the backyard of the church, what it would be like to have a carport awning type system put in the backyard, so that as activities are going on or work projects going on, we have an outdoor space. So we were welding inside of the church. If you saw pictures, sparks were flying up against the wall. And this just gives us a covered area where the kids can go out and do other activities, even in the midst of the rain. So that is another project we may be doing. And let's see, concrete remaining wall in the front of the church. This is the front of the church. And over here, the Woncallians, they rub up some cement and they make it look all nice and smooth. Well, there's this area over here has yet to be done. And then the plan is to really do some painting so we can advertise. Worship times are always there. Kingdom Kids sign is there. And we can do some advertising through painting on the front of the church. And I talked about the water tank. The other, I'm not certain this is going to be happening, but look at that nice little playground. Yeah. There is no playground in this community. And so the question is, how can the church provide for the community? Pastor Araujo built this. Yes, he actually built this. He's a great welder. And so he's going to price out some supplies. It won't be as elaborate as this. This is the playground that is at Fatty's restaurant. Wow. Fatty is one of our assistants in ministry there. He runs the social service agency that we have, and he's the one doing the school uniforms that you heard about in church this morning. This is at his restaurant that he has, and it is just such a joy. People come in just to come and play on the playground. It's really a lot of fun to watch. It probably won't be as elaborate as this, but if we can pull it together, we may be building monkey bars or something for the kids to play on in the backyard. Something where it is more than one child, like on one swing. It's going to be a bigger thing so more kids can be on it. In Woncall is a village about 20 minutes up from Tarma. Beautiful area, very simple. Literally a village, but they've done a lot of progression in their way of life. They're excellent soccer players. As a matter of fact, they won the regional soccer tournament, and because of that, they got this new driveway going down, a nice, really nice driveway going down. And for those who have traveled with me before and know me on this road, before we go off onto the cliff to go down into Wang Call after the road, I get out and I walk, okay? I was such a big girl this year. I actually rode down and I rode back up, and it was wonderful. So it is a beautiful village with amazing, amazing people. They are the hardest working people you will ever meet. So we're going to do a couple of things, hopefully. Let's see, the stairs in Wang Call. This is the door. If I were down in the courtyard with the worship area and the cooey coop, looking up, this is the stair area where we're going to repair. Now, last time we were there, they poured concrete stairs. We watched, and as you can see right now, you got the top of the stairs, and then you have to climb this big old mound of dirt, right? They're actually going to take all of this out, put new stairs in, pour more stairs, and build a new frame. So even though the people in Tarma tend to be a lot shorter than we are, right now even they're hitting their heads coming out of this area. So we will work to make that a little more usable for them. That's one of the Wang Call projects. The other one, how many of you built the barn? All right, there you go, girlfriend. Yes, let's build a barn. Okay, now it's not a barn like we would think of building a barn. None of these projects are probably the American standards or understanding that we have of these projects. Right now, we have Sydney the cow gave birth to Juan. It was until we had a whole discussion about girls are called cows and boys are called steers or bulls. It was going to be named Juan Cow. Yeah. Okay, but it's a boy, so his name is Juan. Can we just be clear? Anyway, they have had so much rain, as I mentioned, that the walls of the barn have come down. Okay? So the poor cows don't have anywhere. No, just kidding. Yeah, it's a little wet in there. I know cows can get wet. That's really okay. However, this is the beginning of a herd of cows. So the plan is Sydney might have another little one and another one and another one. So they're looking for what their plan to do in Wang Call is to really just take what has fallen down and rebuild a barn that will be usable for years to come for future animals, bulls, steers, or cows. And the last thing we may do, this is the outside of the chapel area. You can see that, well, you can't see, I can see it, but it is peeling really badly. And so we'll go in with some scrapers and we will paint. Now, how many of you have ever painted in Peru?
Not in Peru.
Okay, it's an adventure. You may paint today, find out tomorrow it's all peeling off again. We couldn't do it on this trip because it was simply just too wet. The walls, I mean, they're just absorbing all the liquid and everything. So we will hopefully be painting that area. The bottom section we did a few years ago still looks fantastic. So it's the upper section of that we will need to do. Then as we head back to Lima, one of the projects we may be doing is moving the church. This is a wood-built church that has all the screws and bolts and nuts and everything else. They have moved this church probably 3 or 4 times already. Land in Peru is outrageously expensive. So what they do is they find someone and they say, sure, come on over to this piece of property and have the church there. Or they may just kind of squat on a piece of furniture land until an owner goes, oh, there's somebody on my property, you need to move. It is about time for them to relocate. So one of the things we may do, especially with all the body power that we have, is assist them in moving the church to a new location. We actually bought this church for them, the structure for them, how many years ago? 10 years ago? 11 years ago? I think $400 US or something like that. I don't remember what it is. But it will require some muscles and cheerleaders for some of us. The other thing, sister is a Roman Catholic nun, and she is the sister of Jose Rodriguez, a church member here. That's how she got her nickname, Sister. And she does work in ministry with the orphanages, and we will likely be spending a day at one of the local orphanages serving however she needs us to serve. So those are some of the projects. Any questions about projects? All right. With a group this...
Could there be some others that show up?
Oh, there are always other projects that show up, yes. You just, as we're looking ahead, shortly, you're gonna see flexibility is a must. And so we never know what the days are gonna bring. We plan, and then we find out what we're actually doing. I know traveling, I think we had 40 in our group one time, and it is really a lot of logistical work that goes into this. So being that I've been through this before, I'm bringing a spreadsheet, and we will have job assignments and divide out every day who's gonna be working where based upon skills, energy, how you're feeling, and we'll just have some fun doing that. So we won't all be working in the same place at the same time. Some may be up in Wonkal one day, some may be at the Tarma Church doing something, and some may be working with Fatty because he found us something else to do, okay? All right, requests. We have had some requests for clothes. The challenge with this is, clothes over there are dirt cheap compared to what they are here. However, if you have younger people, we're a little larger than many of the Peruvians. I know that. But if you have used clothes that you don't need anymore or want, and you have room in your suitcase, bring them. Otherwise, hopefully, this is a request for the children who were in the summer camp program, who will most likely be also in the Kingdom Kids. Yes, Frank?
Just real quick, summer-ish clothes or winter-ish?
Doesn't matter, because they wear the same clothes every day, you know. Not too tall. You know, our translator, Hachi, is 6'2". I mean, he was just going under all the doors.
We don't know where he came from.
Yeah, we don't know where he doesn't.
I have a lot of like sports shirts, kind of like they
Sure.
got stuff written
Yeah,
on them,
absolutely.
But they might be small.
Yeah, I got Jaguar shirts walking through, Thriving shirts walking through. It's like, oh, we know where those came from. Yeah. Anyway, so if you have some, that would be great. Also, the question about youth, if you would like to maybe take one of the youth shopping. The kids we're going to be working with, most of them will have never had the opportunity to go out and pick out their own outfit. And so if you would like to participate in that, we estimate it's about $25 to go buy a kid an entire outfit. You can take them with you into the market and buy that outfit that they can pick out. Yes, Rosalie?
Are these kids like our age?
They are, in the school, it is 6 years old to 12 years old. Okay? So that's some of the requests that we've had. All right, what to expect? As I mentioned, flexibility is a must, and patience is absolutely required. When we're traveling in a group like that, sometimes I get caught up in meetings. What I'm going to be doing, however, is trying to identify some lead people. So I know David will be a lead person, Roxanne. I can go to certain people and say, this is what I need you to do. Go disseminate the information and go do while I finish up what I'm trying to do, so that you guys aren't sitting there for 2 hours while I'm having a meeting trying to figure out what's going on, okay? But it does take a lot of flexibility, and your patience really is required. Our ways are not their ways, okay? For those who've been to Peru, you understand what that means. We go in with our American way of building something. I watched a gentleman build an entire bunk bed set with like 3 tools, okay? We thought, oh, we gotta get the circular saw, we need the electric drill, we need this, we need that, we need this, and next thing you know, this whole big table's filled with tools, and they're coming in with 3 tools to do the whole job. So our ways are not their ways. I know that there are people here with great skills and information, but they run plumbing perhaps a little different. They do their electrical work maybe a little different. And so follow I would let them do the leading unless they have some of those questions as to what is needed. Feel free to give input if needed, but for the most part, our ways are not their ways, so just be aware of that. Water, yes?
Do they have any kind of building codes or anything?
No building codes, none. No OSHA, no nothing. So it is not unusual. You're walking down the sidewalk and there's like a 2-foot hole. You know, it's just like, oh, hello. No building codes whatsoever. All right, water limitations. Letting you know up front, we work very hard to keep things safe. We've been there, done that, and we've learned every time we go. I think we've got it pretty much mastered now, where we don't even really have any issues. But I would just let you know up front, to drink bottled water only, and what we do is we provide some small bottles of water, and then like all the rooms get these big jugs, and you just refill until you're uncomfortable refilling that bottle of water. And we'll make sure that you get it marked with your name on it so that you have it. Food is absolutely amazing. Fatty is an amazing chef. His restaurant is absolutely fantastic. It was so good. I had pizza, yes, pizza, the first day, and the second day I had something else, and I ate that for the next 9 days. That's how good it was. I didn't even change off the menu. I ate the same thing. So it was very good, and he takes good care of us. I do anticipate we will be hopefully having some meals at the church, which will help us save with costs. Fatty's family helps with that, and a woman by the name of Soledad, which is Ruben's aunt, is also the cook for the Kingdom Kids program, and she will be assisting with that too. So who knows? We may be in the kitchen making our own scrambled eggs because we got ourselves a kitchen at the church. All right, and yeah, so the food also is really dependent upon our lodging. We know where we're staying in Lima. In Tarma, we're still a little on the fence, and it's really up to you. Because right now I have 24 confirmed people going, and wherever we end up, the hotel we just stayed at is downtown, next to the Coliseum, walkable to everything in the market, but they only have 15 rooms. Now, some of them are quads, you know, or triples or whatever. Then there's another hotel on the outskirts of town. If you participated in the youth trip several years ago, they stayed there, and that one's walkable to the church. Okay, it's a little uphill, but you'll get there. But it is walkable. A 5-minute walk if you're from Tarma, maybe a 10-minute walk for us, which then saves in transportation costs, but it is a little more expensive as far as lodging there. All of our lodging, we've asked for hot water, very important to us. We've asked for Wi-Fi. Now, I just want to be clear, this Wi-Fi is not the Xfinity series 4G Wi-Fi. It took me, well actually I think I gave up on uploading photos and just texted them because that was a lot easier through T-Mobile. But the Wi-Fi is very slow, but accessible. And then we have other places we can go for faster internet as needed. But we are still working on the lodging, and that will depend on how many people are committed to going. The Yayas Hotel is waiting for the rooming list this week. So if you're on the fence, hoping you can make that commitment to go or not go, and let me know. And then from there, we will add people as we are able and accommodate them as we are able. And then the hotel in Tarma, Fatty is waiting to hear from me this week to discern how many people are going and what the room configurations are for that. So the sooner we know, it is really better. All right, any questions on what to expect? Yes, sir.
Yes. Would we just bring our regular 110 hair dryers and things, or?
No, and I think I actually have
Packing list.
that coming up.
Okay.
Yes, I will get to that, but that's a great question. Fundraising events. Miss Rhonda, do you want to highlight some of these fundraising events?
Sure, can I do it back here?
We got a video going, so if you want to come up here, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
And And for those watching by video, this is Miss Rhonda Taylor, who assists with the youth
Who are
coordination.
you that didn't take the beginning and do ours?
Oh, and I'm Pastor Phillips.
Okay, I apologize, I have no breathing, so I'm sorry if I'm sniffing. Okay, so we've got 3 fundraisers left for Peru. They've been going really well. If you've participated fully, then you've gotten some really good benefit from the fundraisers. This Saturday is Taste of the Woods, which we need not only chefs, but participants and people to go, so invite your friends and family. The youth who participate, you will benefit from the proceeds of this fundraiser. We need you to be there by between 3 and 4 to help set up. The event runs from 7 to 8, and then clean up afterwards, so I imagine we'll be done by 9:30. And not just the youth that are going to Peru, but all youth. We need everybody. This is everybody's trip. So it's a youth fundraiser, so if you could be there, that would be great. If you're not there to help set up or clean up, at least come from 7 to 8 and have some amazing food. We will probably have over 20 chefs. That's 20 different kinds of food you can try and go back and forth as often as you want. It's fantastic. The theme is
Southern
Southern
style.
style. So we're gonna help decorate according to that theme that Jackie and I have come up with some decorating, so we will definitely need your help there, so if you can get there between 3 and 4. If you are gonna help during the event, I just ask if you would wear either black or khaki pants and a white shirt. That way we all look the same and I know where you are, so. The other event we'll have, the other fundraiser will be Peterbrook Sales. We do that every year. That is Peterbrook chocolate. We have that 2 weeks before Mother's Day, so it arrives on Mother's Day, so it's an awesome fundraiser for the congregation to get their Mother's Day gifts bought, and it benefits the youth. We get a 50% take on the proceeds, so it's a great fundraiser. So just be aware that we'll need you before and after each service on April 30th and May 7th. And then you can do outside sales as well. And everything will be delivered on the Friday before Mother's Day, so if you're doing outside sales, you'll have it in time to get to your friends who've bought from you, and they can give it out on Mother's Day. The final fundraiser will be right before you leave for Peru. It's gonna be a spaghetti dinner. We've done this before. It's fantastic. It gives the congregation a chance to come and celebrate with you before you leave for your trip. We will do free will offering at that event, and your help will be needed setting up, cooking, all that stuff. And it's a great way to celebrate before you leave for the trip, and then when you come back, we'll have a fun dinner planned to share all your stories, because you will have a lot of stories to share. Is there any questions about any of the fundraisers? All right, cool. There you go. I did that. Dripping your ink. Yeah. I think it's allergies, I swear. I don't think
Okay,
that's
you want your agenda back, Ms. Rhonda?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, back page, fundraising events for all. I do have a letter that I have sent out in the past to friends and family. This is an opportunity for you to invite your friends and family to support you if you are going. I have an aunt who has been very generous in supporting previous trips, and it's really like, hey, guess what? I'm going on a mission trip, and this is what I'm gonna be doing, and if you would like to support me, please send a check in under my name, and that can be supported there. One person had their entire trip paid for by friends and family. So I will be emailing that out soon as I get it updated, and you can use that. Peru shirts, we are going to be checking on our supply. I still have blue all over this from my llama blanket. I did wash it, but the dryer, anyway, long story. These are the consistent logo of the Mission Church in Tarma, and we will ask that everybody have one of these, and we have some in stock. I will get those together as we get closer to the packing time. But we probably need to order some, so watch for that email coming out ordering shirts. If you've got one, you don't need to buy another one. And if you don't have one, if you can purchase one, that would be great. It's always representative of our time there. Roxanne actually has a polo shirt on, which many of the leaders in Tarma wear. All right, special notes, registration form. We're just gonna go ahead and pass this out. If you've not turned in your registration form, please complete that registration form and turn that in. That is your commitment to coming, so I know there's rooming assignments and lists on there that I need. It also asks for things like your passport information. I know that's a little scary to give out. Let me explain why we ask for that. We register with the State Department, so if anything happens in the country, maybe there's an earthquake, very rare where we would be. Maybe there's a landslide, very rare where we would be. But the government knows where we're at. They know that there are 30 Americans in this area, and this is their itinerary. So that is why we ask for that passport information. Is not stored necessarily with us, but it is sent to the State Department so they know. Passport, if you can submit a copy for us, that would be helpful. If you're not comfortable, that's okay. But I would also plan to bring copies of your passport. This is really a foreign concept, I understand this, but in Peru, for example, the driver will sometimes need a copy of your passport or your passport number. When we register when we sign in at the hotels, we have to put down our passport number. Thank you, sir. Because I have no idea what they need. I've never had any problems. I've been giving them my passport number for 12 years, never had any issues. But it's handy to have extra copies with. If you're traveling with family members, swap copies of your passport. So if one of you lose your passport, then somebody's got a copy of it, etc. Okay? Immunizations. Down below, you're going to see some information. Thank you, Rhonda, for getting this from the travel clinic. Their recommendations for immunizations are hepatitis A, Hep B, and the typhoid. Yes?
Looking at the charges, the health department on Pearl Street will do the A and B vaccines for free.
Excellent news. The health department on Pearl Street will do these A and B immunizations at no cost. Excellent. I don't know what immunizations are for kids anymore. I don't know if they automatically, I don't know if you kids have had the Hep A, but I went ahead and put the information down below. Yes, I would recommend the Hep A because it is a foodborne illness. The way they raise food and livestock and everything's a little different to us. Not bad, it's just different. Our bodies may not adjust to it the way their bodies have, so that is one that I would recommend. We don't have a lot of body fluid contact, so I would leave that at your discretion. As far as, you get runny-nosed kids, but unless you have an open sore or something and you're wiping their nose with your open sore, and it sounds nasty, but I leave that up to your discretion, okay? And the typhoid, that is also a contaminated food or water thing, and you can see the typhoid. I finally wised up and I got the 5-year protection. It's a bit of a process to take the capsules, but then you're good to go for 5 years. So if you're going back to Peru, like I go back to Peru all the time, I'm good to go for a while. If you're traveling internationally and planning some jungle excursions or something, you may want to go ahead and invest in that. But check with your doctor. They may be able to offer it with insurance as well. A little bit later, we will be sending out an email asking if you would like the travel clinic to come here and administer the medications here. They've done that in the past. It's been great. We just set up a room. Nurse Ellen there sets up, and she just, one right after another, gets you going. She also writes a prescription for Cipro, which you really do want to take with you. You can always ask your doctor. They will write a prescription for